What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Clown Questions, the show where there are no dumb questions. I'm your host, Matt K. Maurer, and the question on my mind today is, should stars serve suspensions for spitting? I'll attempt to answer that question in addition to some others. We'll have a first-year interruption with Jalen Ramsey, Jamar Chase, and Mike Tomlin. Top 10 Goosebump moments of the week, and I'll give you my game of the week since I missed the TNF pick last night when the Texans dubbed that one over the Bills. But yeah, who's down to clown?
That's a clown question, bro.
So, who will get hired next? Did a little switcheroo there, a little bait and switch. I'm not going to ask the should stars serve suspensions for spitting tongue twister question yet. I'm going to save that for the middle of the show, but I had to lead with that because that's a much more interesting question than who will get hired next. And thank God I checked my phone. Shout out to All Sports News on Instagram who gave me a little clarity on the question I'm about to ask. Who will get hired next? Of course, I'm asking this question because of the big hiring this past week. Virginia Tech and James Franklin finalized an agreement for him to become the school's next head coach. Franklin won 128 games over 15 seasons as the head coach at both Vanderbilt and Penn State. He obviously led Penn State to the CFP semifinals last year. Love the hiring for Virginia Tech. Little disappointed he didn't go to Wisconsin, which again is irrelevant because we decided, not we, if it was a collective decision, he would have been out of there weeks ago. But yeah, Wisconsin decided to keep Luke Fickell for another year. Sorry, I'm not here to talk shit about Luke Fickell, although I will do that anytime I get a chance. Unless you go get another ranked win or two, Luke, you're going to have to shut up. You're going to have to do that to shut up stupid podcasters like myself. But yeah, hell of a hiring for Virginia Tech. A slam dunk, really. And yeah, kind of hoping Franklin can bring them back to that same relevancy they had when they had Mr. Michael Vick. Who remembers that? Those Virginia Tech teams were teams to be reckoned with. And yeah, I think it won't take long for Franklin to rebuild. I think he'll bring in a lot of recruits, maybe poach a couple in the transfer portal from his former Penn State college. But yeah, that's who just got hired as James Franklin. But the question is, who will get hired next? And no, it's not Bill Belichick. He will be staying at North Carolina. I'll get into that in a second. Excuse me, I'm very nasally. That was very rude of me to nasal all up in this microphone. But yeah, it's not Belichick. The name that keeps swirling around in rumors, especially for the top jobs such as LSU, Florida, the Penn State vacancy after James Franklin left, he's already a coach. The name swirling around in these rumors is Lane Kiffin. And I was saying, shout out All Sports News on Instagram because seconds before I pressed record, I read, there's a Lane Kiffin little blurb of news. And that blurb of news was that Lane Kiffin reportedly will announce his future on November 29th, which is Saturday after the Egg Bowl in which Ole Miss will most likely put the belt to ass on Mississippi State. Just like I'm watching BYU do to Wisconsin over here. No, we'll be fine. I think we can come back. Sorry, I'm watching the Wisconsin BYU basketball game in the corner over here. We're playing the presumed number one pick in the draft, AJ DeBonsa, and we're down 12 at half, but yeah, really would like to get this revenge win. Revenge for the March Madness tournament that will break my heart until the end of time. One weird thing about that game, they're playing on the NBA Cup court. They're playing at the Jazz Stadium. Also weird that it's at 3 p.m. on a Friday. Not to expose myself for what time I'm recording this show at. But yeah, why are you playing at 3 p.m. on a Friday? No one's going to watch it. You see the NBA Cup court? Oh, it's because the NBA Cup is later. I wonder if you can buy dual tickets to that. But yeah, the guy who will get hired next is more than likely still on a team, still on Ole Miss. So yeah, Lane Kiffin, gonna be weird with him announcing that like they're gonna win the Egg Bowl. If they lose, I mean, goodbye. If they lose, no way Lane Kiffin stays. But yeah, they'll kick Mississippi State's ass in that game, and then he will apparently right then and there he might say, "Yep, I'm going to Florida," or "Yep, I'm going to LSU." I don't think he'll go to Penn State. He probably wants to stay in the SEC. But yeah, pretty weird. And you got to wonder if he takes one of these other jobs, that means he's not going to coach because for the playoffs. Because Ole Miss, more than likely, unless they have a catastrophic failure these last couple games, they're going to be in the college football playoffs. So if he announces he's taking the Florida job, that means he won't be coaching for the playoffs. See, I never understood that. Like, why not just play the rest of the season out? Why not coach and potentially have a chance to go on a run? You could win a national championship, but no, you're too focused on your next job. Lane, I don't care what job you take, but can you coach the rest of the season, like just for the sake of Ole Miss fans? I wouldn't. That would be very disappointing to me if Lane did that, but Lane doesn't care. Lane probably wants to coach at LSU, and who wouldn't? LSU seems like a great place to coach, unless your name is Brian Kelly. I will continue to try to get through my nasally soliloquies here as I ask my next question. How do I deliver bad news on this show? I guess the answer is badly, poorly. I am not good at delivering bad news on the show. I'm never good at thinking of a question to deliver the bad news. So here's like a meta question on asking you, how should I do this in the future? Help. Someone tell me how do I go through bad news? I was thinking about making it into like a segment, but that just seems wrong. I'm not going to go through all the injuries with a segment, but we do have quite a few injuries this week. Of course, this always happens in football. But yeah, some unfortunate ones. Michael Penix, he needs surgery. He needs surgery to repair an ACL strain. Kind of dodging a bullet there. I think he's torn his ACL multiple times in college. So at the very least, it's a strain instead of a, tear. But the Falcons likely said they'll hold him out the rest of the year. I don't know if he'll be ready in time. Falcons likely wouldn't be in the playoffs anyway. So yeah, it'll be Kirko Chains the rest of the way. So yeah, excited to see Kirk play a little bit. But yeah, hope you heal up soon, Michael Penix. It is a shame. It's the epitome of karma. I'm in a fantasy football league with my buddy Dr. Jones, and I guess I don't want to dox him, but his first name is Connor. I drafted a team with James Conner, George Kittle, and Michael Penix. So I had to, of course, take a shot at Dr. Jones and name my team Connor Has a Kittle Penix. But then I traded George Kittle. James Conner had a season-ending injury, and now Penix has a season-ending injury. I guess that's just karma for making fun. Don't make fun of the doctor. He has the fantasy gods on his side. He is the fantasy gods. So yeah, if you mess with him, all three of the players you used to make fun of him are going to not be on your team anymore. That's what happened to me. Now it's Connor had a Kittle Penix, not has, past tense. But yeah, number of more injuries. If I could have some proper grammar here, maybe the water will help me out with that. But yeah, number of injuries to rattle through. Drake London is another one, not quite as serious as the Penix injury. I wish I'd put more details for that one, but yeah, London will probably miss a week or two. Aaron Rodgers could miss a week, could miss 2 weeks, but he's playing the Chicago Bears this week. And Aaron Rodgers, his injury is a broken hand. He has a fractured left hand, but he's questionable right now. It's Friday. He's been practicing. He's got some sort of supportive brace on. He is trying to play through a broken hand, and it is probably because he just hates the Chicago Bears that much. He just wants to stick it to him one last time. I own you. I still fucking own you. Who remembers that as he shouted at the city of Chicago while they flipped the double birds at him after he scored a game-winning touchdown? But yeah, Rodgers, I want you to heal up your fractured hand. but it would be quite a treat to watch you kick the Bears' ass one more time. So, yeah, stay healthy, but yeah, no one's gonna be mad at you for playing through that broken hand. We know we know what you want to do to the Bears, and we know what you will do to the Bears if you are able to play this week. Josh Jacobs, that's another person. He's listed as questionable. He was saying in interviews that he kind of jinxed himself. That he said he was bitching all week about the playing surface, the horrible, I forget if it's turf or grass at MetLife Stadium. But yeah, horrible playing conditions and probably led to his injury this week. But yeah, he is listed as questionable. Either way, I'm confident for the Packers against the Vikings this week. Emmanuel Wilson's been playing really well these last 2 weeks, so I'd be confident if he were to be the starter, if Jacobs had to be held out of the game. And yeah, now here's another season ender. Number of season enders I got to go through here. Sam Laporta, he's been placed on IR. He had surgery on his back, and Dan Campbell confirmed that chances of him returning this year are very, very slim. Damn, that's unfortunate. And unfortunate for my fantasy football team. No one cares about your fantasy football team. But yeah, my tight end is down. Let's hope Jawan Jennings can pick up the slack. And yeah, I like Sam Laporta. Fun player to watch. And yeah, hope his back heals up soon. Very, very slim chances him returning. Who knows? Maybe he'll return to the Super Bowl, which is what J.K. Dobbins alluded to. He was also placed on injured reserve with a foot injury requiring surgery, likely ending his season. He sustained this injury on a hip drop tackle during the Broncos' Thursday night win against the Raiders. Not yesterday, but a week before yesterday. That hip drop tackle, maybe the NFL, maybe Goodell had a point when he made hip drop tackles illegal because quite a few players get injured on them. But yeah, he's Dobbins set to become a free agent after the year. He was 5th in the league in rushing at the time. It is expected for him to make a full recovery. However, one source did say that J.K. Dobbins will be ready in February if the Broncos make the Super Bowl. That's interesting. Who knows? I mean, I'm wondering if the Broncos made it to the AFC Championship, would he be ready for that game, or does he probably does need those 2 extra weeks. I guess foot surgery is no small task, but yeah, probably the last game has been played for J.K. Dobbins for this year and possibly for the Broncos for that matter. But the King, if you're following the King, if you watch that podcast, he's got the Broncos losing in the Super Bowl to the Rams. So who knows? Maybe we will see one J.K. Dobbins game this year, and it could be in the Super Bowl. That would be quite the story for J.K. Man, I got to speed through this pod. I'm sniffing. I'm sick. This is bad. Garrett Wilson placed on IR with a knee injury. Someone's got to place me on the IR with, vape lung. Maybe it's the popcorn lung. Sorry, this is, my parents are not going to like that joke. Trying to quit vaping. But yeah, Garrett Wilson, he's been placed on IR with a knee injury. Garrett Wilson, he's one of those guys where, like, just hold him out the rest of the year. The Jets season's over. All he's going to do is make your team better. You want a better draft pick. Lose more games. Just hold Garrett Wilson out the rest of the year. As will be done with Brad Beal. He fractured his hip. That is a rough injury, especially for a basketball player. And yeah, I'm kind of sad the Clippers won't be with him for the rest of the year. I was excited for the unction. Brad Beal, Kawhi, and James Harden. We still have a bit of an unction, but one unk is down with a hip fracture. Why is it always the unks? Why do the unks always hurt their hip? I don't know. Maybe that just happens with old age. Really got to think of a better way to phrase bad news, because I always make jokes when I'm uncomfortable, and I'm uncomfortable for the duration of the show much of the time, trying to make you uncomfortable, or at least try to make you laugh. And yeah, speaking of being uncomfortable, this is an uncomfortable subject for me. The Eagles placed Jair Alexander on the reserve/injured list. Apparently, Jair is, quote, contemplating retirement and has informed the Eagles that he is stepping away to focus on getting right physically and mentally, per Diana Rossini. Man, I was really looking forward to seeing Jair play more this year. Hasn't been playing every game for the Ravens, and yeah, got traded to the Eagles, but evidently we will not get to see him with the Eagles either. But I hope we do. I hope he comes back. I hope they get to take him off the reserve injured list. But yeah, Jair, if you want to retire, no one would fault you for it. You had a great career. You made some dough, some memorable moments with the Packers. But if you come back and the Eagles cut you, come to Green Bay. Hey, you're welcome back whenever. Yeah, we're probably not going to pay you what we did when we cut you, but hey, you always got a home in Green Bay. But yeah, hell of a career if you do decide to retire. But yeah, obviously maybe dealing with some mental health stuff. So yeah, hoping Jair gets in the right headspace, and again, still hoping he comes back to my Packers. One of my favorite Packers of all time for sure. Can you guys tell I'm sick? Probably. Not as sick when I see the Badgers have pulled within 9 to give you guys an alert. I got to finish this show so I can go watch the end of it at the conclusion of the taping. But this is probably the biggest doozy of a question. I should have let off with this, but it's kind of conjecture right now. It's the start of investigation. Not much evidence uncovered yet with this question. Who's point shaving? I actually do have one answer, but I'm asking who's point shaving because the NBA asked multiple teams, including the Los Angeles Lakers, not my Lakers, to hand over documents and other property as part of its investigation into the illegal sports gambling. 6 league sources told The Athletic. Damn it, 6 different sources, so it's true? Oh, Lord. I was kind of hoping my glorious king LeBron would really stay out of this gambling stuff. That would put a tarnish on his legacy. Although people still call Michael Jordan the GOAT, and he was a gambler, so maybe it would have no effect on his legacy at all. The MJ crowd seems to ignore that. Point shaving is a different thing, though. I'm pretty sure MJ was playing blackjack. Maybe he was betting on NFL games, but betting on your own sport, your own games, that's a different story. And the story that I want to look a lot more into, and I hope a lot more details come out soon, was that one regularly starting player for the Magic told a gambler the team planned to tank or sit its starters during an April 2023 game versus the Cavaliers, per Sam Amick. A regular starter. So the verbiage is interesting because the direct quote was tank or sit its starters, and that's what the player said. What's the difference between sitting your starters and tanking? That is a huge difference. Sitting your starters, I understand that. The NBA has even done things to combat that. They have a player participation. I think they fined the Cleveland Cavaliers the other day for holding out starters who were completely healthy out of a game, trying to make the game more interesting for the fans. They don't want star players sitting out every other day, obviously. But yeah, sitting your starters is one thing because you can actually, they're resting, but tanking. What did this player mean by the team plan to tank? They were going to miss shots on purpose? I don't know why this hasn't blown up more. Obviously, the Chauncey Billups thing and the Terry Rozier thing blew up because we had apparently actual evidence. They got arrested. The poker thing is crazy, X-ray tables and whatnot. And we found, evidence that Rozier was probably betting on his own overs or his own unders or something. But yeah, no one's really talking about this one. So the Magic tanked a game. They were just, we got to find this 2023 game versus the Cavaliers and watch. I guess it would make more sense to check if the starters were playing first, but you just see guys missing open layups. You're like, wonder who's doing that. But yeah, I don't know why I guess I would assume the Magic player, no, the Magic player told the gambler. I thought the Magic player told a reporter. Nope, he told the gambler. Yep, Okay, so we have a actual good, no offense to Terry Rozier, but we have a starting player for the Magic, an actually good player, point shaving. This is just insane to me. I want to look into it. I'm praying my Pookie LeBron is not involved, but who knows? He might be. But yeah, one person that is confirmed to be involved in some sort of point shaving scheme was Day Hunter. Day Hunter, a college basketball player for New Orleans. He admitted to point shaving, and most of the time I'm vehemently against this. You know, you get paid a lot of money, but he's playing for New Orleans. Was he getting some NIL? Maybe. But you know, his kind of justification was, oh, I needed money for my family. I had to feed my kid. So I guess I kind of get it from that perspective. But yeah, if you're an NBA player doing it, I don't get it. I mean, unless you owe debts to the mafia, which is probably what Chauncey Billups did, I don't see any reason to be tanking these games, to be telling. It's just a bad look. Just a bad look for the NBA. The MLB's players would never, Shohei Ohtani would never gamble on any of his games. But yeah, let's move on. Once I find out who the point shavers are, I'm gonna go in on them. I'll go in on them. And I'm about to go in on a different guy, a guy who has gotten nothing but shit since the college football season has started and continues to get shit each week, deservedly or not. But the question is, will the Giants hire Bill Belichick? The answer, no. Now, did I need to even ask that question to know the answer? No. Did you? No. But there was a report. There was a report that Bill Belichick has not and will not pursue any NFL head coaching vacancies. His statement was as such: I have great respect and genuinely care for the New York Giants organization and both the Mara and Tisch families. The New York Giants played an important role in my life and in my coaching journey. It was a privilege for me to work for the Mara family and be a member of Coach Parcells' staff for over a decade. However, despite circulating rumors, I have not and will not pursue any NFL head coaching vacancies. Since arriving in Chapel Hill, my commitment to the UNC football program has not wavered. We have tremendous support from the university, our alumni, and the entire Carolina community. I don't know about that, Bill. My focus... Pardon me, y'all. My focus remains solely on continuing to improve the team, develop our players, and build a program that makes Tar Heel fans proud. We're on to Wake Forest. Did Jordan Hudson write this? Did Jordan Hudson put out this report that he's not in the running for Giants head coach? You didn't have to tell us, Bill. We knew you weren't in the running for it. You have, I don't want to say desecrated the North Carolina football program, because it's never been that huge of a program anyways. But yeah, you haven't done much there. No one was really pursuing you. But yeah, this is just his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. And that's part of it. People might hire not Jordan Hudson. People might hire Bill Belichick, but he would probably have to dump his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, first, because she's pretty controlling, micromanaging. I got to put that Pablo Finds Out clip. There's this clip of Jordan Hudson, Bill's girlfriend, sitting in a studio, while they're filming a podcast, and she just keeps interjecting and like, have you guys tried Adobe Photoshop? It's like, you weren't hired to make the podcast. They have a whole team, a graphics department, like video editors. And then afterwards, you could hear her shit talking, like the whole staff, everyone who's doing it. And she got caught on a hot mic. She was in the podcast room. The people in the other room they have their headphones on and they are listening to the mic so they can just hear. She's whispering, but Jordan Hudson is just talking shit, essentially right into a microphone. So that's just one example of it. But yeah, I think if she broke up with Bill, the Giants would consider it, but not until then. So no, the Giants will not be hiring Bill Belichick. We are on to Wake Forest, and we are on to my next and final question. Should stars serve suspensions for spitting? Try to say that 10 times fast. Should stars serve suspension for spitting? I can barely say it twice. But should stars serve suspensions for spitting? To ask it a third time, no, they should absolutely not. What are we doing? What are we doing? A little spit. Jalen Ramsey punched him. Okay, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm of course talking about Jamar Chase was suspended 1 game for spitting on Jalen Ramsey. Jamar Chase appealed the suspension. That appeal was denied or upheld or whatever the verbiage is. He will be suspended for this week's game against the New England Patriots. Bad game to get suspended, Jamar. That is a tough opponent. And yeah, bad game for me too, because he's on 2 of my fantasy teams. I am not happy about it. What happened? Is this not real football? Just rub some dirt in it, like how is spitting worse than punching? I'm trying to find any way to justify or explain, why Jamar shouldn't be suspended, but I don't know. I don't know if I can debate it. Earlier in the season, actually first game of the season, Jalen Carter got thrown out of a game, which ended up being, the de facto 1-game suspension for spitting on Dak Prescott. But that one, you have a lot more of an argument because you can see Dak spit on the ground right in front of Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter took that as disrespect and said, all right, you're going to spit on my shoes? I'm going to spit on you, right on your helmet. And that's actually what Jamar Chase ended up doing to Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, who, clamped Jamar Chase to a degree on Sunday. And then, it kind of boiled to that point. I think, someone ripped someone's mouth guard out. And, eventually it got to the point where that trash talk turned into spit, and Jamar spit on him. But no, you shouldn't serve a suspension. Stars shouldn't serve suspensions for spitting because I need them for my fantasy football team. But Jamar initially denied it. Jalen Ramsey is the first one who claimed it, and we have video evidence. I should have put the video of the spitting in here, but I do have some quotes from Jalen Ramsey, Jamar Chase, and Mike Tomlin all about this situation. We got different stories from Tomlin and Ramsey as we did Jamar, but just Google Jamar Chase spits on Jalen Ramsey, and you will see clearly that he did spit. It was a very clear spit. But that's why this week's first interruption was with those 3 guys. Kind of 3 sides to the story of this whole spitting saga. Here's first your interruption with Jalen Ramsey, Jamar Chase, and head coach Mike Tomlin.
He spit on me, so it's up. I don't give a fuck about football after that. Respectfully, I'm always gonna be all for trash talking, shit talking, stuff like that. I actually enjoy that part of the game. I think people know that. As soon as he spit, it was fuck that. I ain't gonna tolerate that part of it.
He was saying that you spit on him. Did you spit on him?
I ain't never opened my mouth to that guy.
Mike Ramsey plays with an edge. He has his whole career. When something like that happens on Sunday, because the play before they had to be separated, was your message to him to try to simply remove himself from that stuff? And how do you, as a competitor, how do you sort of keep him from
I have no message if someone spits in your face. Do what comes natural.
Ironically, Mike Tomlin is spitting there. I have no message for you if someone spits in your face. Do what comes naturally. Basically, okaying. Just saying, I agree with what Jalen Ramsey did. Punch him in the face. And I think that's fair. I think my brothers have probably spit on me before, and that's exactly how I reacted. I punched them in the face. I think that's a completely fair reaction. Jamar Chase, of course, denying it. I never opened my mouth to him. And then, obviously Ramsey and Jamar in those interviews go on to say how, they were shit talking for a majority of the game, which of course that's any star receiver and a star DB are going to get into some shit talk like that, but not spit talk. Jamar hit Jalen with that Hawk Tua, and that's not okay. Apparently, got him suspended. Let's get that suspension removed. We can't. The appeal was already denied. If I lose a fantasy football game because Jamar Chase spit on a guy, I am going to be livid. Again, no one cares about my fantasy team. But really, spitting? You got suspended for spitting. Come on, Jamar. That's all right. We'll get it back. I expect me and Jamar to make the playoffs and head towards a Super Bowl push here. As I do, delusionally about the Packers, which is a good segue to the top 10 Goosebump moments of the week, everybody's favorite moments of the week, starting with the aforementioned Packers at number 10. Micah Parsons with the strip sack as time expires to cap off the Packers' W.
Back to the Packers defense. They're playing intermediate right now. Here's Winston. Loading up, gotta hurry, hit from behind. Ball is out. And this game is over. And Micah Parsons finally gets home.
Number 9, Texans DB Caleb Bullock picks it off for a big win over the Bills.
Back foot, short, picked at the 9-yard line. Bullock.
South Dakota's probably gonna
Number 8, South Dakota wins in quintuple overtime to clinch an FCS playoff berth.
Throwing the fade route, it's Benner. The catch to send South Dakota back into the postseason.
Number 7, Elprin Sengun makes the hook shot at the horn to force overtime.
You got the hit the hook shot at the horn, and the game is tied at 102, and we've got bonus basketball tonight inside of Toyota Center.
Number 6, Mark Andrews runs in the fake tush push for 35 yards as the Ravens win.
And there he goes. Andrews all the way. Touchdown. What a call by the Ravens. And some sort of a screen down.
Number 5, Keontae George hits the game winner with 0.8 seconds left.
Hands it off. Keontae 3. Got it. Oh, yeah.
Number 4, Miles Bird beats the buzzer from half court to send it to OT.
To send it to overtime, and he got it! Oh!
Number 3, Nikola Vucevic hits the game-ending 3 at the horn for the Bulls.
Off the screen to Herder. Murray in defensive posture. White into the lane, kick it outside. Vucevic for the win. Got it. Nikola Vucevic with the threes. Been hot all year from out there.
Number 2, Jordan Marsh with a disgusting buzzer beater for USC in triple OT.
There's still time left. It's Marsh for the win. Oh!
Number 1 moment of the week, Jalen Cox makes the half-court heat for the win.
Court banks it in for the win. Jalen Cox sends it back to Hamilton with a W from half court.
Oh my goodness, what a shot. I had to leave in the middle of that. In the middle of the top 10, my computer was about to die. That would have been absolutely tragic because I now my computer is connected to the camera, so I would have lost all the footage. That would really suck to re-record a podcast after I already did one. But yeah, 2 different half-court shots in that. The SDSU one, they ended up losing the game, so I couldn't put it at number 1. You got to put the game-winning half-court shot. And what about Jordan Marsh? That was a disgusting buzzer beater for UFC, broken play, and just kind of almost the double clutch three-pointer. And Mark Andrews, that one pissed me off only because I was hanging out with my buddy Nemo, and I saw Shedeur Sanders going to the game. I was like, $5, the Browns win it. I'm such a Shedeur truther, such a Shedeur fan that I blindly bet on them as they got, at least when Shedeur was in the game, dominated on. They couldn't score on the Ravens defense with Shedeur. But the fake tush push for Mark Andrews. What are we doing? What a play call. I mean, that is disgusting. No, that's not a good segue. I don't have a segue, but I do want to finish out the show with the game of the week. Sorry, I've been stumbling and fumbling, and yeah, maybe I need some cough syrup or something because this show felt bad. Hopefully it was good for y'all though. But yeah, game of the week this week. I'm going to go with the noon game. I usually don't go with the noon game. I love the standalone game, but this is a big game. Big game in the AFC, big game in the AFC West, in the AFC South, because it is Colts at Chiefs. The Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites in this game, which is interesting because the Colts have been the better team all year, but Arrowhead is a tough place to play in. So Vegas is favoring the Chiefs, but I'm favoring the Colts. Maybe it's wishful thinking. Maybe I'm just a Chiefs hater. All those things may be true, but the Colts with Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor and a revamped defense have been fairly lights out this year. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to burp into the microphone and make the pick of Colts money line. And yeah, I don't know. I'm probably jinxing this. I'm probably screwing myself over by making the pick. I'm probably screwing over America. I apologize in advance, America, because I'm probably jinxing myself with the way I'm going to end this show, because I think the Colts win and leave us wondering, is the Chiefs dynasty over?